it is really funny to go back and watch like my Clash of the Castle dream match predictions thing, because I could not have been more wrong, I don't think, about what happened on that card. So yeah, take all my choices with a pinch of salt, but this is my own personal opinion, so deal with it. But I'm going to be very wrong. If any of these happen, I'll be amazed. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about AEW All In London, in particular my top 5 dream matches for that show and the matches that I want to see. But before we dive into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below and I will try and reply to every single one of them. Let's talk about All In London, a show that is very heavily doing well on the pre-sale side of things. Nearly 45,000 people, from what I gather, have signed up for pre-sale. That's a lot of people. So I think there's a good chance this event could sell out and it could be the biggest wrestling gate that AEW has had yet here in the UK. So I'm very excited. I'll be there on, I think, May the 2nd to try and snag tickets with the pre-sale. Thank you, or not thank you, Ticketmaster. But we will try and get tickets. I shall try and get tickets. It'll probably be very hard. But what's going to happen on the show? What matches are we going to see? It's a very interesting place in the calendar year for All In, because you've got a week later, you've got All Out. So do you want to blow your big matches at All In? Do you want to blow your big matches at All Out? I'm not sure. I'm just going with the dream matches that I want to see at All In, regardless of All Out. I think, just asterisks, All Out will probably be headlined by Punk. I don't think Punk will be on this show. Will be on All In. I think he'll be in All Out, but I don't think he'll be at Wembley. So from there, I have put together a card that I want to see. 5 matches in particular, as I've said numerous times in this video. So shall we just dive into my top 5? So we're starting off with 2 outside picks. These aren't number 5. These are, let's just say, 6 and 5.5, because these are 2 matches that I want to see, but they're a bit, I couldn't include them on my top 5, but I wanted to mention them. So the first one is one that probably won't happen, but it is dream match scenario, particularly with what's going on with his contract. MJF potentially facing Drew Galloway at Wembley could be very interesting following Clash at the Castle. Some of the shoot stuff that MJF could do on Drew Galloway if he indeed decides to not re-sign with WWE. But the likelihood is he will not be at All In Wembley, which is why he's not a proper pick. And the other one, I just want a big multi-man match for the TNT Championship, pitting Keith Lee against Luchasaurus, against Powerhouse Hobbs, against Miro, against Wardlow, and one big guy, Lance Archer. Just slap them all together. We can have that done. The TNT division is reset from there, because the TNT division is a bit of a slog. Big, beefy men, multi-man match. Maybe throw a ladder in there, but that's what I want to see. So coming up at number 5, we have the World Championship match, which can only be MJF versus someone, and I think MJF should face Orange Cassidy at AEW All In London, because Orange Cassidy, I think, is a sleeper hit in terms of the pillars. It's just weird that they've not sort of acknowledged Orange Cassidy in that mix, because of the stellar work he's done from pretty much day one in AEW and how naturally over he is with the fans. I think he's a perfect pick to face MJF further down the line. I don't think, dream scenario actually, I think Orange Cassidy should be the one to beat MJF. I think his character progression from where he started in AEW really suits beating MJF and cementing himself as a face of AEW. But I don't think that's the route they're going to go. Instead, I think they're going to have an incredible showcase match here at Wembley, because British audiences, we're big on chance. We're big on, getting involved with matches. And I think Orange Cassidy's shtick with MJF in an enormous stadium of, let's face it, hardcore wrestling fans is going to be incredibly over and incredibly fun. I think Orange Cassidy could really, really step up and prove that he is one of the top tier main event talents of AEW going against MJF. I think the stars are aligning for Orange Cassidy to face MJF at Wembley. I'd even do championship versus championship. Have Cassidy keep the championship, the international championship, till Wembley, and then do international champion versus world champion. They're basically the same thing. Never mind. But I think it'd be really fun. It'd be a really fun match, this really good world title match. Coming in at number 4 for me, and this is a sad one, Darby Allin versus Sting in a retirement match. I think this could be Sting's last match. I think it really could. When the biggest crowd that they've got, potentially 90,000, Sting's final farewell. He teased it in that promo against MJF. I think they're bringing up a lot of stuff in this MJF feud with Darby. He's talking about Sting a lot, how Sting is his friend, how Sting is not his dad, it's his best friend in the whole wide world. He's his partner, his cheerleader. I think it's potentially leading to a Darby heel turn or some sort of retirement match coming soon, and I think doing it in front of the biggest crowd, the biggest emotional send-off, you can picture it. You can picture it almost like Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. You can picture Sting on his knees, tells Darby to hit him, and Darby doesn't want to, but he does, and we have it. We have an incredible moment cemented in AEW history as Sting retires at Wembley Stadium. I think it's quite poetic, it's quite nice, it's a really good way to wrap up the Darby Sting era, and then Darby can go on to be a true main event guy while Sting probably helps out sort of backstage. I think it'd be a really phenomenal match and a perfect place to do it at their biggest audience AEW's had. Coming in at number 3 for me, we have Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 3. Now, I'm not caught up on New Japan. For all I know, this could not have happened, but it was announced that Will Ospreay is in part of a tournament to face Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door for the IWGP US Championship. I'm going to assume he wins that and we get Omega Ospreay 2 at Forbidden Door. And I think having the rubber match, having the big finale where Will Ospreay beats Omega at All In London would just be perfection. It'd be poetic. It'd be that huge pop when Ospreay beats Omega, doing it in front of a British audience, hometown boy and all that. It'd just be phenomenal. Again, biggest crowd you've got, the biggest audience that you have, and doing what is probably my match of the year, Omega Ospreay. I think it's probably my match of the year. Doing the third instalment of that at Wembley just makes all the sense in the world. It really, really does. And I'd be so super pumped to see that on the card. I think Omega and Ospreay could really have the crowd in the palm of their hands for this one and really work Wembley Stadium up into a frenzy with this match. So yeah, it's got to be on the card surely. Coming in at number 2, we have Soraya versus Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Monet. I do believe that at some point Mercedes Monet will cross over to AEW. I think she potentially wins the belt at Forbidden Door and we get some variation of Jamie Hayter versus Monet at Wembley. I think having, Jamie Hayter reclaim the gold at Wembley would be really good. I think maybe Soraya winning it and then Jamie Hayter beating Soraya at Wembley could also be incredible. But I think Jamie Hayter is winning whatever match she is in at Wembley, and I think this triple threat just makes all the sense in the world. You've got two, you could have like the outcast of Soraya, conflicted Mercedes Monet, who is technically an outsider, but she's just her own boss. She doesn't, she's made herself rather than being someone who's come from somewhere else. She's a self-made, boss. She's the self-made boss. And then Jamie Hayter, the homegrown talent. I just think it works really nicely as a triple threat dynamic. You can maybe throw Britt Baker in there if you want, but I think this triple threat match works really well and would make for a huge cathartic moment with Jamie Hayter reclaiming the gold from Soraya or Monet. I just think that works. I think that works. Maybe that's just me, but I'd really love to see this triple threat, and I think it could be a sleeper hit of the night if it goes down. And And my number one pick, the number one match that I want to see, is one that could not even happen because the other two people are under contract with WWE. But I want this match to happen so much. Ever since I heard that these people were asking for their release, which might give you a hint, I want to see them on this card. They are two of my favourite wrestlers in the world, and they are completely undeserved in WWE. So I hope they end up getting their release that they requested and they make the jump to AEW. I want to see FTR take on James Drake and Zach Gibson, the grizzled young veterans, for the AEW Tag Team Championships at Wembley. You want to talk about someone who can rally a crowd into a frenzy? Zach Gibson is a master of it. An absolute master of it. Watch any of the UK takeovers, any of the NXT UK shows that they were on. He just is electric, and putting him in front of 90,000 people potentially in a match with the best tag team in the world, in my opinion, I think it would just be sensational wrestling. You've got the, really good wrestling style of the babyface FTR going up against the grizzled, not cheating, not doing despicable things all the time, but the really bitter and sour grizzled young veterans. I think could work so well as such a great dynamic, and they could put on a 25-minute clinic in the ring. I think it could be one of the most exciting, brilliant, genius tag team matches that has ever been put on, because grizzled young veterans are flawless. They are unbelievable in the ring, and I love them to pieces, which is why we're going on dream matches. It probably won't happen, but FTR, those are the grizzled young veterans, is the match that I most want to see at AEW All In London. Let me know why I'm wrong in the comments, and let me know your dream matches in the comments below as well. Thank you all ever so much for your support. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.